All right, so this is one of the projects that we're working on today. And I figured since Valentine's Day is coming up, I would do something with this cherub planter. Now, I bought it damaged. He originally had a horn that he was playing and it broke off. So I sanded this down with an emery board, and then I just filled in the little hole that was there with some air dry clay. And then once it dried, I sanded that down as well so that the bottom of his hands would be flat. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to do a textured finish on this. And I'm going to start out with just some white chalk paint. And what I'm going to do is I am going to mix in salt wash. And what this does is it thickens up your paint and adds a beautiful texture. If you don't have salt wash, you can use baking soda as well. So let me get a bowl to mix my paint. I save my yogurt containers, and that's what I use, for mixing paint. So I'm going to pour my white chalk paint in here. And then I'm going to add in some of this salt wash. Comes with a little scoop, and you just scoop in until you have the desired texture that you want. I think I'm going to need a little more. And then I'm going to mix it with a popsicle stick. There, you could see all of that texture. It doesn't have to be super thick. Just make sure I got into all the little grooves in the bottom of this container. All right, now I'm going to use this old brush, and I'm going to stipple this on. I'm just going to go all over the whole thing. And this also will stick and help cover up the glaze that's on this. I definitely will have to do a few coats, but that's okay. It's kind of hard to get in here, that area. I actually probably could use a little bit more of the salt wash in here, but I'm going to wait till I do the first coat to see, what it looks like. And then if I have to, I could always add some more. But that's all you're going to do is just pounce this on, stipple it on, dab it on, whatever words you want to use to describe this what's the word I'm looking for? This procedure? Okay, so this has dried actually for a couple days. I had my live sale Saturday, and I packed orders all day yesterday. So here we are, 2 days later. This is nice and dry. Now, I don't want to do just a normal, like, Valentine's themed color scheme with this. I'm going to do something a little different. This I'm going to try to make look, well, copper, and I'm going to have it have that green patina to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I have Paint Couture. Let me make sure I have the right one. If I don't have it, this is bronze. This is antique gold. Here's copper. Okay. So I'm going to use Paint Couture's Metallic in copper. And I am going to use a stiff brush, and I'm going to stipple this all over this planter. You need to shake these really well because all the metallic bits, they settle. So you have to shake it really well before you use it. All right, guys, so this is nice and dry. So I'm trying something new. So this is going to be an experiment for myself. And I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to try this. This is DIY's Shipwrecked Finishing Wax. And it is in this amazing turquoise color that kind of mimics that patina you get when copper gets patinaed, so to speak. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to apply this with a stiff brush, making sure to get it in all of the nooks and crannies. Then I'm going to take a shop towel and lightly, now you will have some pieces that will fall off of here from the texture, but that looks pretty cool, I have to say. So I just want to show you, if you have, you feel you don't have enough wax in certain areas, you can add more, swirl it in there, right? And then come back and just dab with your paper towel so that you leave more wax where you want it. See, that looks fantastic. So there's a few areas that I would like a little more wax in, and so that's why I'm just going to come through and just dab with the paper towel and not wipe. This is going to be our next project. This is a box that I purchased at probably Goodwill. I know it was at one of the thrift stores. And of course, it had this on here, and it was kind of raised. So I just took some 80 grit sandpaper and I sanded it to make it smooth. And I also ran the piece of sandpaper along the rest of the box because there were some little wood splinters and stuff sticking out. So I basically just sanded all the rest of the edges of the box. So what my plan is for this box is I'm going to make I guess you could call it a planter, a riser, whatever you would like to call it. I purchased these little feet. I believe I got these off of Temu. So I'm going to put these on the bottom with some Tight Bond Quick and Thick glue. So I'm going to turn this over, and I am going to get my glue here, and I'm going to squirt some on there, and then I'll rub some on this other one. Hopefully I can. You don't need a ton of glue, you know, on here, guys. See, that's perfect. And I'm going to put just inside the square, where just inside here where the sides meet the bottom. We're going to let these dry for a little bit before we start to paint this this little riser. What I did is I quickly turned this right side up and put a can of paint inside to add a little bit of weight to press everything together while it dries. I'm going to let this dry for about an hour. Okay, guys, so our feet have dried on here, and what I'm decided to do on this piece is I'm going to do a crackle effect on it, but I need to paint it a darker color first, because when you put your crackle medium on over your lighter paint, it is the dark color that's going to show through in those cracks. So I prefer to put a dark color, then my light color on top, and then my crackle medium. So the color I'm going to use is Dixie Belle Coffee Bean. This is a chalk mineral paint, and it does have a sealer in it as well. So I've shaken it up, and I just hope I could get the jar open because it's been a bit since I used it. Oh my gosh, got it. I'm hoping that I'm only going to have to do one coat of this color, which I'm pretty sure it'll only take one coat. This is, you know, just a light colored wood, so, and hopefully all that writing gets covered up. You could still see the indentations. I should have probably just put a okay, now I can't think of it. Oh lordy, getting old, man, you know. Just can't remember. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It'll come to me at midnight or thereabouts. All right, guys, I put one coat of the coffee bean on here. I love this color. It's a very rich, dark brown color, which is going to look amazing when we do the crackle effect. Okay, so now my top color, I'm going to be using Dixie Belle's Drop Cloth. And I'm going to paint the four sides, but I'm going to leave the bottom, the legs, and the inside the brown color. So we have kind of like a two-tone look. So I have my paint in a squeeze bottle because it's easier for me than trying to open up the jars. I need to buy more squeeze bottles. So again, we're just gonna, I don't want to get it on the top. That's why I'm trying to be careful. Yeah. The stuff I was trying to think of earlier is called Bondo. I knew it would come to me eventually. I could have used some of that to fill in the little indentations, but you know what? You're not even going to notice it because I'm also going to put a transfer on here. So I'm not too worried about it. I don't know what that is in there. All right, so I'm going to, I'm probably going to have to give this 2 coats of the drop cloth. You all know how to paint. So once I'm done painting this and it's dry, we'll come back and we will put our transfers on. Alrighty, so I put 2 coats of the Dixie Belle drop cloth on here. And as I said, I was going to leave the inside brown, the bottom brown, and the feet brown. Now what we're going to do is add some beautiful transfers to this. And what I've decided to use are, this is Redesign with Prima, and it is these beautiful hydrangeas. It's called Mystic Hydrangea. And we're going to add some of these to this because I have nothing but spring on my mind, guys. Reason being, I live in the Northeast and it's freezing right now. It is freezing. So, I am just hoping for some spring. All right. So, it has hydrangeas in blue, purple, and mine always turn this color in the fall. That is so beautiful. And we also have some beautiful lilacs. So we're going to see what we can do here. I think to start off, I'm going to start with this pretty purple one. And I'm going to put this one right here on the front part. Hopefully it covers up that darn wording. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just cutting these out. So if you've never worked with transfers before, they're very easy. What you do is you peel off your backing sheet and you lay your transfer down, but don't put it down until you have it exactly where you want it, because once it's down, it is down. Okay? Then you're going to take your tool that comes with your transfers and you are going to start to rub the transfer. Now, I rub the whole entire area first. Make sure that it's stuck down well. Then I will grab a corner, if I can grab it because I have no nails. And as I rub, I pull up on the transfer. And it just kind of makes it easier to get your transfer down to like pull up and rub at the same time. And you want to make sure, you know, that your paint is good and dry, you know, before you put your transfers on, or seal your paint. If your paint is a chalk paint without a sealer in it, then you might want to, you know, seal it first with like a decoupage medium or a clear matte sealer, a spray sealer, polyacrylic, whatever you like to use. So we're going to continue to finish rubbing on this transfer. And I'm hoping it's gonna cover for the most part most of that wording. I'm so dang mad about that, but you know, we go with the flow, and All right, so there it is. And then we're going to burnish it with our sheet here. That looks pretty good. I really like that. That's pretty. Alrighty, we've got all of our transfers on. I did all 4 sides. Okay, now it is time to add our crackle finish. This is a 2-part crackle finish. I'm using Paint Couture. So we have step 1 and step 2. So what we're going to do is start with step 1, and we are going to paint all 4 sides of our box with step 1, and we have to let it dry for at least 30 minutes until it just feels tacky. Then, once it's dry enough, we will apply step 2. So let's get started with step 1. Okay, so now the thinner the coat, the finer your lines will be, your crackle lines will be. And you don't want to overwork it. You just want to, you know, you don't want to go over it 150 times. You just want to gently. Okay, there is that side. Okay, guys, our first coat of crackle medium is tacky. Okay, so now we're going to put on step 2. And I'm just gonna, I shook it up. Now this is a lot thicker than your first step is. It is much thicker. So it's a lot harder to spread. But just, you know, take your time. Make sure to hit every area. And it won't be long before you'll notice your crackles starting. All right. I am going to hit this with my heat gun, my blow dryer. Heat gun, blow dryer, same difference. All right, guys, so our crackle medium is dry, and we've got some amazing cracks going on here. So what I'm going to do, I am going to use brown wax instead. So I'm just going to grab a shop towel and start rubbing this on. Watch this, guys. This is where the magic happens. Oh my, would you look at that? Holy cow. Is that not amazing or what? Look at that. I just wanted to give y'all a close-up. All right, let's go to this side. I gotta buy more brown wax. I'm almost out. Oh boy, look at this, you guys. This looks fabulous. OMG. I am tooting my own horn. Yes, I am. And I'm gonna wipe off any excess. Guys, so my last step actually is just even though this Dixie Belle paint has a sealer, I am still going to seal this with a polyacrylic sealer. That way, if somebody does want to put a plant or something in here, it'll be better protected. So I am just going to paint the inside of this with my polyacrylic sealer. I really wish I could just take it outside and spray it, but as I mentioned in my last video, I live in the Northeast and that is just not happening. No, it is not happening. So we will just brush it on. Nice even coat. I'm going to do the inside of the box, the edges of the box, the legs, and the bottom. The rest of it is already sealed with the crackle finish, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to finish sealing this, and then we'll come back and look at the finished product. So for this project, I recently thrifted this little cutting board, and today I'm going to give it a little paint job and use some transfers on it. So I'm going to paint it with Dixie Belle's drop cloth. I love this color. It's such a pretty, like, off-white. I love it. So I'm going to give it a good coat. I'm going to do both sides and the sides and the hand. Well, the whole thing. The whole thing. Yep. Of course, I can only do one side at a time. I'm going to paint the edges. All right, our cutting board is dry. And this is the transfer I'm going to put on here. I got a bunch of transfers from Essential Stencil. I can't wait till they get more designs in on their transfers. But anywho, so this is what I've decided to put on here. I love it. Perfect for a farmhouse kitchen. So make sure I got it on here straight. Push it down with my hand first. And then grab out my transfer tool. And I am just going to rub the entire thing first before I pick up a corner and start to lift up on the transfer. Make sure everything is adhered. Okay, now we can start to lift up. See, guys, look at that. Now, if you notice when you're pulling up your sheet that all of the transfer didn't adhere, you just lay it back down and continue to rub on that area until it transfers. Very, very easy to do. Make sure we're all stuck. All right. There we are. Then I'm just going to burnish it with the sheet of vellum. Oh, look how cute. Okay, so I want to antique this up a little bit, or, you know, make it look more vintage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distress ink in walnut, and I'm going to take my little tool here. I got these on Amazon, and I'm going to rub it in here, and I'm going to go around the edges here with that walnut stain and just give it a little bit of age. These little sponge things really work well for doing this. Love how that looks. And okay, and I'm also going to do a little bit on the sides, just with what's left on here. Maybe just dip it a little bit. All right, now for this side, I'm going to put on the smaller version of what's on the front. I'm going to put the same thing along the edges of this one. Okay, I decided I'm going to make a messy bow to put on here. I don't have enough material to do it on both sides, so I think I'm just going to do it on the side with the larger transfer. So I have this Bowmaster. I love this thing. Or Bowdabra, I'm sorry. It's called a Bowdabra. And it's very simple to use. You take a piece of twine or whatever you want to tie off your bow with, and you put it in this middle section here. I'm sorry, in the long section. Okay? So that you have your string hanging out on both ends. Then you turn it, and you just start layering in your pieces of ribbon, or in my case, I'm just using torn pieces of material. And you just keep layering them in there. I just kind of like do every other. And it doesn't matter if they're not even, because you're going to trim it when you're done. All right. So then you just grab your two ends of your twine, and you're going to pull very tightly and I usually do like 3 knots so that I know it's not going to go anywhere. And then you'll have this messy little bow. Okay, and then I just gather it up like this. And then I'll get my scissors and just even out the bunch. And I'm just going to glue it like this right there. Just going to hold it in place until it dries. Look at that. Oh, that is cute. And then I think what I may do is I may wrap a little bit of a few strands of twine around the handle. Put a little bit of glue right here and put my twine end in there. And then I'll wrap it. This twine's not real thick, so I'm not even gonna do it really neat. I want it to look kind of messy. There we go. All right, and then I will glue my end over here. All right. And let that dry. Oh, this is cute. I love it. Look at that.